to meteorology, to fireworks. There are just so many pieces that go into it. We are very fortunate today. We have the maestro with us, Andrew Howell, on my left. Next to him, we have Isabel McCullough, and I'm going to ask you, the title that I see is Advancement Associate, which normally means you got to go out and raise money. Is that true?
That's true. Okay. That's correct.
I know they always give it this kind of innocuous title. Okay, she does a wonderful job for the Chorus of Westerly. And then on my right is Dr. Doug Rayner, and it's all his fault that we're here. He started this thing 44 years ago, and I usually start with you, Doug, but I'm not. I'm going to probably start with Andrew today. And give us a little background, because you grew up in the Chorus of Westerly, and we are broadcasting right now everywhere. We have had Facebook messages that have come in from England. We have had them come in from, we have a very loyal listener, now viewer, now streamer from Washington State, who's with us almost every week. And they don't know that you can be a little child and sing in the chorus, or you can be 90.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was really lucky. I started a little bit late, actually, because you can sing from age 7 and up in the chorus. But I was 12 years old in 1995 and started singing as a little boy treble in the chorus, singing
and look where you are
high
now.
notes. Yeah, and so my first Summer Pops was in, I guess that would have been 1996, because I joined for camp and then went through a season and then finished off the year at that first one. And boy, is it a really impressive event right from the beginning.
Off the bat, you're losing people saying camp. There's a music camp?
Yeah, we start every season off with a chorus camp as well for all of the kids. So it allows us to get a week away where we take the kids to a sleepaway camp and work on the music for the coming season, as well as just getting the kids to get to know each other and kind of become the team and the family that then carries them through the rest of that year. So
and when they audition, you bribe them with ice cream. I know that because I've tried to
bribery never hurts. Yeah, it's always good to offer a little bit of sweets in there as well. We give them cookies every day at camp as well, so we keep that bribery train rolling through all of that. But yeah, so I started singing as a 12-year-old and got to do a bunch of years until I graduated from college, honestly, singing in the chorus and doing a Summer Pops every year. And now I'm here directing it again. I think this is my 13th, something like that, really? Which is insane that it's been that long already. But I'm just a super lucky guy to be able to do what I do. And Summer Pops is one of the most incredible things that we get to do for our community every year.
I was thinking as I was driving down here, well, what you did with Ode to Joy after COVID was wonderful, but that wasn't what I was thinking about. I was thinking my Ode to Joy, people have different things that give them great joy, like a baby's smile will give people joy, or hearing music, or looking at a sunset. And I was thinking the one thing that I look forward to every single year during the concert, when I'm able to get away from my station, and we'll give a little commercial about that later, I will walk down and I'll stand on the side so I can see your face, and you have a smile on your face that is my Ode to Joy. It is such happiness that you are up there, and I guess it's a combination of, my God, we did it again. And thank God it's not raining. Yep. and nobody's fainted, and they're all up there. Yeah. But you just have the best expression on your face, and I love it.
Well, as you say, this is so many moving parts that it really is kind of a minor miracle every year that it all comes together and that we get through the concert, even though for a few years now we haven't gotten through the entire concert because of weather issues where we've had to cut things, and that does seem to be becoming a little bit more of an issue. This year I've been guaranteed that we're going to have perfect weather on Saturday.
Or we all move to San Diego.
Yeah.
One or the other. Yeah, I know that's when it's not an ode to joy.
Yeah.
That's when it's an ode to
It's funny.
Pepto-Bismol.
It's funny that you mentioned that because we're actually doing that one again this year. The
Are
first
you
half
really?
will end with the choral ending of the Ode to Joy from
It's
the Ninth Symphony of
beautiful.
Beethoven. Yeah,
I know I got an email yesterday, probably from you, Isabel, that had the whole. I was surprised to see that. Normally, it's in that newspaper that comes out. That'll be inserted in a week from Thursday, I guess.
yeah. We just wanted to tease it so people knew what was coming and to get excited about
which is a great
some of the
idea.
things on there. Yeah.
That really is. Now, Isabel, you've been with the chorus how long?
So I started singing actually extra late by chorus standards. I didn't start till I graduated from college.
Oh, you were an old woman.
Yeah,
then.
I was like a senior citizen. So I joined the year I graduated from college, so 2022, and then I started working at the chorus in November of 2023.
Wow.
Yeah,
We're really-
it's been
we
wonderful.
lucky.
You do a wonderful
I'm
job.
lucky.
You
Thank
keep
you.
things so well organized.
Mhm.
Thank you. I
Which is
try.
Just great. Yeah, chorus here this isn't like a little hobby that you do
No.
now and then. This is like they start feeding them Kool-Aid when they're little. And they've got them from age 6 till they're 90. But it's whole families in the chorus, and it's a culture. It really is a culture.
It
is
absolutely is. Yeah. And the multi-generational aspect of it has always been one of the things that made the chorus so special from the very beginning. Having children and adults singing together throughout the entire season, doing everything from Beethoven, Bach, Brahms to Pops concerts. All of that stuff has been done with families all the way through, and we have three generations still currently singing together, and we also have a fourth generation set of kids now, so we are on to the fourth generation. We do not have any four generation families singing, but 3 is not bad.
3 is not bad at all. So your youngest performer this year is how old?
8
And
for Summer Pops. Yeah,
who's the grand old man or woman?
I'm
don't have
not
to get
allowed
a
to say that.
No, not a name. I'm looking
in
just for
upper
an age.
80s.
Upper 80s,
Yeah.
which is just great.
Absolutely.
But as Andrew touched on very lightly, this is not just once a year. It's once a year for the pops. There's Christmas pops, and there's classical music and choral music pretty
yeah.
much the whole year long.
We have a very busy season. We start rehearsing right after Labor Day, and then we end on Summer Pops. And everyone gets 2 hours of rehearsal a week through that entire year. And we put on 5 or 6 concerts, depending on the season.
Can you give just a short, so that we can then get to Dr. Rayner and he can give us the history, but give us people who don't know, a short little elevator speech about the tour that the chorus has been on and went on last year right after Summer Pop.
Yeah, so touring as a concept started, we began in 1981, and the chorus had connections to England through Sir David Wilcox, who was a mentor of George Kent, and George Bunky had gone over and studied with him, and because of those connections, we were able to go sing in some really incredible venues.
I think so.
Over there, and so that was the first international tour, and the chorus took something. Doug, I don't know if you know better, around 200 people is kind of what we've done for these tours. One of them was as high as 260. That might have been the Italy one.
Wow.
But the concept was just to take everyone from Westerly and
How do you
go
make
over.
sure
and...
they're all on the bus when they're there? Or
I
on
think-
the plane?
I think back in the 80s, they didn't do that as much as we do now in the 20 whatever.
Very
So
careful checking.
now we do very careful checking. Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
It was a different time back then, but yeah, no, it's incredible people moving. And for the adults of the chorus, it's a lot like the camp experience where you are just forced to spend a week or two with these people that maybe you sing with for 2 hours on a weekly basis and see them either in the section or at break, but you actually get to wander around European cities and spend a lot of time on planes and,
Boats.
a ferry. Yeah, this
Yeah.
past time we went on a ferry. So each time it's a different experience and we go to different places. This past
And they
summer.
have sung in some of the great cathedrals of the world.
Absolutely. Yeah. One of the big ones early on was King's College, Cambridge, which is where Sir David Wilcox was. So that was a big connection there. But Chartres Cathedral on this last one, St. George's,
Castle,
Windsor, Windsor Castle.
American Cemetery as well.
Yep. And
Yeah.
in this one, we sang for a special ceremony at the Omaha Beach the American Cemetery there.
I've been there. It just takes your breath away just being on that land.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah. So musical, cultural, all of that experience.
You don't bring an orchestra with you, do you?
No. Back in the day, they used to, in the first 3 that they did, but now we hire
Did they
European
lose them
orchestras.
on the bus or something?
No, I think they all got there on their own. Yeah.
So you somehow work ahead and send the music, and you're working with local people.
Yeah,
then.
we have a tour company that we've used, ACFEA, for the last 3, and they have connections all over the world. It's part of what they do. They take choruses, orchestras on tours all over the place, and so they're able to hook us up with a very fine orchestra over there. So we had one in France and one in England for this last one, and I literally just send them the music, and then we show up, and we have a 3-hour rehearsal, and we put it all together, and then we do it.
And you get the look on your face, right?
I
That
absolutely
happiness.
do. Yeah.
That is, it's so exciting. I cannot remember which tour it was. It was back a ways, one of the early ones, and they landed wherever they landed, and then they had to take a subway to get somewhere. And I think it was Ryan Saunders who said, we came off that and there were posters all over the subway station saying Chorus of Westerly concert. And he said, it's like the greatest thrill in the world.
Yeah, I don't know exactly which one you're mentioning, but in
Neither do I.
2014 in Prague and Vienna, I can remember both of those in particular, walking down the streets and seeing the posters of the Chorus of Westerly up, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah,
it really has to be.
We have a comment here. From Robert Lucier, who says George Kent was choir master at Christ Episcopal Church when I was a kid.
Yes, and
Still-
he still is
still
now.
is.
Absolutely.
How old is Robert, though? That's what we need to know.
I don't know, but his photo is white hair.
Okay.
His photo has white hair.
This came in on Facebook?
To be fair, YouTube actually.
YouTube.
To be fair, my Facebook photo also white hair. I'm getting there.
I'm getting there
Andrew,
too. Yep.
Andrew and I prematurely graying. Well, not even premature. We're just getting older.
Seriously, Ben, come on.
We're just getting older. Can we still say premature though?
Yeah, sure.
Thank
It's fine
you.
with me.
It's fine. We're young. We're young guys.
Well, thank you, Robert, for sending that in. Let's move to Dr. Doug Rayner, who sits with this little smile on his face because he started it all. He got all these hundreds and thousands of people running around doing crazy things in a park 44 years ago. Please tell people how it started.
Well, Andrew mentioned the chorus tour in 1981, and the night before they departed for England, we put together this little concert on the post office steps in the middle of Westerly, Dixon Square, as a thank you to the community who had supported this tour coming up. They had a large chorus, obviously, and filled Dixon Square with people sitting in the middle of a state highway, along with a cannon that almost blew out the windows across the street, but not quite.
Let me interrupt just for 1 second, because I know there are people who have contacted me and said we can see. That's Dixon Square right out there. Those of you who can see right out our windows, that the post office is next to the library here. So that's where he's talking about. And you had tons of people there.
Yeah, we had a lot of people, far more than anybody anticipated. And so that thing went off pretty well. The chorus went off to England and had a great time. They came back, and it wasn't long before the phone started ringing asking when the next one was going to be. And the answer was there is no next one. I mean, this was a one-shot deal. And the answer always was, well, there has to be. And so it turned out the next year we did a second one in Dixon Square. And that had an audience that went across the river into Pawcatuck, Connecticut, and all the way up High Street. And 2/3 of the people probably couldn't hear or see a damn thing. But again, it worked pretty well. But somewhere along the way after that, we had a very polite communication, I think, with the state police, who sort of suggested that it was not a good idea to be filling state highways with people. And So we decided, well, if we're going to do this again, it has to be somewhere else. Wilcox Park, which, pardon me, is a privately owned park. It's owned by the Memorial and Library Association of Westerly. It is not a municipal park. And they were not in the habit of having big venues going on in their park. In fact, when I was a kid, if you got caught walking on the grass, you got chased by the superintendent, sometimes with a 2x4 in his hand.
Wow.
At any rate, so we asked the library if it might be possible, and I think they finally came to a conclusion it might be a darn good idea. And so on the third year, we did it in the middle of Wilcox Park, and it's been there ever since. And nothing could be better because it's right in the middle of the community. It is cost-free to attend, not cost-free to put on, but it used to be pretty inexpensive, and it no longer is. But it's an event that we just think is pretty special, and I'm happy that I've been involved with it for all these 44 years before all these people were born. But they keep talking about 90-year-olds, and I wish they'd stop that.
The one thing that Dr. Rayner didn't mention when he said, and we moved into Wilcox Park and we've been there ever since, and the attendance has grown to 20,000 people on an average, sometimes higher than that.
Yeah, it's true.
Which is, I don't know when the park and the Library Association first said, sure, come on in, that they had any idea it was going to be to that extent. But it's magnificent to see.
It's such a great place because it just is well suited to this sort of a thing as long as you have permission to do it and you treat it as you should.
And people do.
And I've always
beautifully
viewed it as we're guests in somebody's living room and we have to behave that way. And I think that's one of the highlights of this event is that people do. And so it's appreciated. It's a nice concert and it's a lot of fun to put on. And I'm sure for my boss across the table here, it's probably frightening things at times, but hey, you do what you got to do.
It's got to be great, though. I've always thought I would love to just stand on that stage for a nanosecond during the concert and see what it's like to look out at that sea of people everywhere. And the sound
we could probably
guys.
make that happen at some point.
Well, they used to tell me I was a mezzo, but I can't come to the rehearsals every week. And you're a tough taskmaster. I know
That's a
that.
very impressive thing to do.
It has to be. It absolutely has to be. Maybe I could, kick Bob Elmer out of the way and do one of the announcements or something.
Do you play the harmonica?
No, and I don't have a bow tie. No,
I was never told that there was ice cream at auditions, or I may have joined as a child.
They just had it on Monday, I think.
Yeah, so we have
I was
an
trying
open
to figure out a
rehearsal
way to.
that has an ice cream social attached to it. It's not actually ice cream at auditions.
Okay, well, fine.
Yeah, they have to sing first or drink the Kool-Aid first, then they get ice cream. That's okay.
Wow.
That's all right.
By the way,
I
we have a very important update. Robert Lucier graduated in 1975 from Stonington High School. So when he was a kid, would have been the 60s, early 60s with Mr. Kent. And yeah, he's been there since the 50s, right?
Yeah, I mean, the chorus was founded in 1959, and he was organist choir master at the church before that for at least a few years.
Oh, you know him.
George Kent? I've heard
No,
of him.
not. I thought you were talking
No,
about
no, no.
Robert.
No,
No, George Kent. I know we all have heard of.
I've heard of George.
Yes. Well, before we get into this year's program, I do want to tell you the story that I told Doug the other day because it's amazing. I mean, this concert is heard everywhere. People know it everywhere. You can travel. I still have a friend who came about 20 some years ago with his wife. And he was just amazed at seeing, he's a Rotarian from Syracuse, New York. And he said, you really have one or two booths in the park and you're the only food vendors for Rotary? Yep. He said, I got to see this. So they came. And to this day, as recent as 2 nights ago, he asked me, they still doing that concert? I said, yes, Dan, they are. And it's amazing how the reputation all over the world is taken in. But I had the opportunity to interview last week Mary Kate, who is, and her last name is
Morrissey.
Thank you. I was going to say it's equally Irish. Mary Kate Morrissey, who is one of the big featured performers in the second portion of the show. And she is currently in Maine performing. She is a Broadway actress, singer, teacher. She's excellent. And she's currently performing at the Ogunquit Playhouse in Maine, doing the show From Away.
Come From Away.
Come From Away. And
Great show.
which is a wonderful show because it's about this little town in Newfoundland when they got inundated with 7,000 people when the planes were redirected there on 9/11.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden, all these people came to town. And it's a beautiful story. It really is. And she has one of the leads. She plays the first female pilot for American Airlines who was part of this. So in talking, she was telling me that she gets people that come to the performances. She gets former pilots. She gets people who were at 9/11. And then she said, I got to tell you about the gal that I share my dressing room with. And I wished I'd thought to bring her name. It is in the article that's coming out. I think the last name is Hemlin, if I'm not mistaken. She said, we were talking about where we're going next as actors. The gal that she's sharing the dressing room with is an opera singer who also does touring shows. And Mary Kate said, well, I'm going to this little place called Westerly. I've never been to Rhode Island and I don't know anything about it. And I'm doing something called Summer Pops. And her roommate in the dressing room said, I did it about 20 or 25 years ago. She was here.
Really?
So I immediately called Doug thinking he's got every detail. He'll have a list of which year because she couldn't remember. I asked Mary Kate to ask her what year it was, and she couldn't remember, but she was here.
Now I
So
really wanna know who that is.
She was, well,
I'll
have
wait
to
for the
article.
newspaper.
Yeah.
So she was waiting. She was telling her about it, and she said, when everybody told me, but when you're on that stage, no matter how many times you've been told, about 20,000 plus people sitting on the grass staring at you, and the cannons going off, and the church bells ringing, and the Drucci fireworks, it's still not the same as being there. And I remember Adam Jacobs last year saying that as well, speaking with him. So
It wasn't Paula Rockwell, was it?
no, the last name is something like it was. I know I spelled.
Oh.
I can't remember her first. It's a female.
Okay.
Do you
Yeah,
know where
that's
the
cool.
Do you know where the production of Come From Away is?
Yes, a
we've
Gunquit Playhouse.
We've got
Oh.
Google here. Excellent.
But they're doing a matinee right now, so you can't call if you were thinking of it.
I wasn't gonna call.
But
I was never gonna call.
unfortunately, we can't do that. But
What a small world. I love
it-
that. That's
isn't that great?
fantastic. Yeah.
So she said she started telling me all about it.
That's great.
And then she told me that Westerly will be city or town number 95 that she's been to. She
Wow.
said Ogunquit is 94 and we will be 95. And I said, do you have something from each town? And she said, I try to get a magnet.
Okay.
So I immediately called that store on High Street.
Mm,
And yes, they have magnets.
excellent.
And yes, I went there today to give it to you to give to her. And they're closed on Wednesday.
I think
So-
last year we gave Adam Jacobs a stick of soupy, so maybe we'll try to do the soup for her.
Okay. I don't know. But she has a magnet collection.
She's got
Although
a soupy
soupy
collection.
can stick like a magnet. Let me just ask Ben, are we going to be going to a break or
Don't
do
worry
we
about it right now.
continue?
You can continue.
All right, so let's have, if I might, and if all our listeners and streamers might, tell people what the program is this year. Maybe you, because you're the one, you sent it out,
Excellent.
Isabel. You
I
should
do
have it
send
right
it
up
out.
here.
I don't get to
Oh.
program it. I am also singing it.
Wait, is it Mary Kate Morrissey?
Yes,
That's who's
That your no
coming
in
this
Come
year.
From Away.
yes.
But there was
That
another.
wasn't the
Oh, there was
question.
another person.
It's the
I'm like,
person that
it was
she
Mary Kate
shares.
Morrissey.
No, Mary Kate, I spoke to for quite a while because Mary Kate graduated from Syracuse Drama, and so did I. So we talked about that.
All right, I wasn't
And-
paying enough attention.
No,
to
you
continue.
weren't.
it's because you're getting old, Ben.
Hey,
Yeah.
no, it's true, but come on,
Now, if you have the entire cast there,
I do.
the last name is something. It's a female, and it's something like Hemelin. It's something with Lyn. And she played
Joy.
That's it,
Joy Hermelin.
Hermelin. No,
Must
nobody.
have been
I've-
before my time. I do
Nobody
not-
I've asked has known. They've all said it's before my time. Doug figures it's maybe 25 years ago.
Oh, I thought Doug was
I'll have
going to
to
say it was
look her
before
up.
his time. I was going to doubt that.
Interesting.
But she has
I
an
can look it up.
operatic voice, so I don't know if she sang opera when she
Yeah, that
was
would've-
here.
that would've
Had to
been-
be under
that made
Bunky.
sense. Yeah, absolutely.
It would make sense, but now she's doing shows,
Oh.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
yeah, we got that much done, didn't we?
We did.
All right, so tell us, you're singing in it, so you
Yeah.
or do you only know your part?
No,
you know the
I-
whole thing?
I know the program. I think maybe correct me if I'm wrong on some of the instruments.
Why don't we start with the pre-show? I even can do that because I talked to all of them.
So
go ahead.
We have a couple returning groups. So we have the band from the United Music School, which is a band called Pop. And they did open a couple years ago, but it was a different configuration of teenagers. So it's a new configuration, including Andrew's daughter, Sadie, which is going to be wonderful.
They also were on last year, I think.
Not last year, but a few
Year
years
Was it
before,
ago.
2
yeah.
years?
Yeah.
But it was a completely different group of kids because I think they kind of cycle through different kids and
Yes,
they age
they
out and
do.
they go to college. So they're wonderful. We had them at the Westies
Yes.
a few months ago in February and we heard them and they're fantastic. So that's going to be great.
And then they, by the way, are going on tour. Well, you must
Yes,
know this.
yep.
Right after the concert, they've booked it themselves, and they're going on tour themselves.
Yeah.
They're not going to Prague, but
No, I
Not
think
this
there's
time.
Ting.
they're going as far as Delaware, I believe,
That's
and
pretty
then
far
back through
for Rhode
Brooklyn.
Island.
And
Now, tell me about this other, because Dave was so excited about the pre-show. He called me the other day.
Because of the Morris men.
Well, I was just going to, you ruined my joke, Andrew. I was going to say, tell me about this other group of youngsters.
Wow.
I could tell you about them too.
Tell me about this other group of youngsters, the Morris men.
And they've been there since the beginning. Peter told me they were on the post office steps. You want to explain what Morris men do? In their funny
well,
little
I've seen them
dresses and
dance
their
and
handkerchiefs.
sing, and that's all I'm allowed to say, I think.
Andrew's like,
No,
I've seen
but
them for
they-
30 years. I can't tell you
Yeah,
It's
exactly
a
what it is.
British tradition.
It is a British tradition, but they have, you mentioned Peter Liebert, who is the squire or head of the group. I'm pretty sure he and George Utter founded it way back in the day. And they dance at the Equinox every year up on Lantern Hill. They've been at Summer Pop since the beginning. They've been a part of 12th Night when that was going on for the first 40 years. And they're a local-ish group of guys who get together and they do this English Morris dancing with hankies and sticks and sing mildly inappropriate songs and, have a good time. They're bringers of
Mirth.
mirth. Exactly. Yeah.
He
For many years, we had a sound and lighting company named Capron. It was headed by a guy named Jay Arthur, who referred to the Morris men as the hanky dancers.
Sounds right.
Yeah, he was telling me they always end with this one number and they used to sing it, but somebody complained because some woman thought it had some kind of a naughty connotation.
I'm actually the person who's been kind of tamping them down for a while now. So that's me. That wasn't someone else in the park. Yeah.
What- he got a little more specific than that and he didn't mention you.
That's fine. Well, that was kind of him, but that's okay.
But I asked him, which I think is funny. I said, do you have the names of the guys who are coming this year? He said, it's better if I just give you their names. I told them all where the park is and how to get there and when we're on approximately. And whoever shows, and whoever stays home and is still drinking beer is staying home.
That's how we do the chorus as well.
No, you don't. Stop that. How many, by the way, are in the chorus this year that will be performing?
I don't know the exact number from Pam right now, but somewhere around 150 to 170 is probably
All
very
right.
close.
Sounds about right.
So all you out there who aren't part of the Westerly area, Stonington area, 150 to 170 singers. How many in the orchestra?
55-ish.
And these are all union people.
Mhm.
And that's the noise that's coming from the
Yeah,
bandstand.
and we
or from
amplify
the
it all too, so
risers.
it's even more than that.
Yeah. Well, you have a phenomenal sound group now. I know that you had some new people and they did a pretty darn good job last year.
Yeah, it is not an easy thing to make a concert like that come together, and it's a very difficult and niche skill that not many sound companies have that are not based in New York City or traveling constantly around the U.S. So we were very lucky.
I'm sorry, Andrew. You were a Morris man?
You are not supposed to look things like that
You
up.
are absolutely.
Oh,
really?
no.
You
I
were?
actually was briefly a Morris man. I danced in 12th Night a couple of times.
I didn't look stuff up. I have little birdies that send us information.
Of
here.
course. Oh, that's
so we have
Yes.
someone.
And
Yeah,
I'm
we have
sitting-
someone.
great. You know, I mean,
listening.
I had a slightly misspent youth, so what are you going to do?
We have.
It was actually a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. It was back when George Utter had his office none of it's there anymore, where the Westerly Sun used to be. How's that for Westerly?
Yeah.
And his little building where the Blue Mitten was, and upstairs was his office, which was just absolutely chock full of really interesting historical tchotchkes and things. And we would get there once a week, and there would be 20 minutes of dancing and then an hour of drinking, and it was a great time.
That sounds like a great time.
Yeah, it was fun.
And they don't let women in. They have a woman who's
Morris
a
men.
musician this year who's part of it,
Ah.
but there are no women. So.
There is the Mystic Garland is the women's ensemble.
Do they
that
drink?
is, I'm sure they
Oh,
do.
good.
Do they drink?
Well, that's
Rona's
what I
in.
was more interested in, not waving hankies and
Wow, we got through 2 acts on the pre-show, and we've
Exactly.
been really veering off since then.
yeah. Let's go to act number 3, which is a good buddy of mine, Arthur in the Afternoon.
Yep, Arthur's wonderful. So he is a pianist, and he's going to do some, I think, improvisational piano, some stuff like that, if I'm correct.
I don't actually know
He's a
what he's
boogie
playing.
woogie
He's
guy.
Arthur Migliazza. Yeah.
I completely trust Arthur. I have heard him on several occasions
Yes.
just vamp, Arthur, we need you to keep going. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And he's fantastic to work with, and I'm really excited to hear him.
And if you don't know what I meant by Arthur in the Afternoon, look it up. It's a very naughty Broadway song.
Oh, I figured he was on he had
I thought it
radio
was a
show
radio
or something.
show.
Yeah. That's
No,
funny.
no, Nicole,
We
his
can
wife.
try to
Nic-
get him in here on the radio for that.
yeah, very interesting. All right, so there's your pre-show, and that starts all. I know it said 6:15.
Yep, 6:15.
When the article was written, it says 6 o'clock. I'm sure for 15 minutes it's not bad, but and the way Peter talks about it, he just told his guys to get here around 6:20 or 30.
Oh,
So
all right.
we may want to have to change the lineup of who goes first
I'm
or
sure
something.
it'll be fine.
It'll be great.
Okay, now let's talk about the main act.
Yeah, so I mean, we have
going.
it's kind of chunked up into a few sets because we actually, in addition to
Is that a musical term, chunked up?
technical
Absolutely.
terms only? Yeah.
Okay.
So in addition to Mary Kate, we actually have another special
Yes,
guest
you
who might
do.
be familiar to some of our Westerly people. Big Lux, otherwise known as Kevin Lowther, former town councilor in Westerly and kind of local luminary, wonderful community member. I know he just played at Neighbor Day recently downtown.
Yes, and he played at Sunday Fun Day.
Yes, he's like
He calls
everywhere.
himself a recovering politician,
Mm.
which I thought was absolutely great.
I hope he'll keep going.
But his bio was so interesting to me
Yeah.
because I knew he had gone to West Point.
Yep.
I didn't realize he had 13 years in the Army.
Mhm.
I didn't realize that he is a Suzuki trained violinist.
Mhm.
And he took his violin with him all over the world, including into the demilitarized zone when he was there.
Yeah.
Very interesting, but he is not so much going to be playing the classical music as he is going to be getting down. And
It's-
he's doing 2 raps that he's written. And then I guess he's ending with The Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Yes, and the chorus is joining him for that one, and we're having a blast putting it together. And it's going to be so fun and so high energy. And yeah, definitely not classical. That's why it's Summer Pops. But that's going to be fantastic. So we have a set with him. We're joining him on that, and we have some sets on our own with just the chorus, and we're doing all kinds of different things.
You're doing sing along, I hope.
Oh, yeah. So this
That's
year's sing
part
along
of
medley.
Summer
Can I
Pops.
reveal
Yeah,
it? I mean,
of
it's out there
course.
now. I'm asking like I didn't send the email. We're doing a Billy Joel medley, and of course, all the new arrangements, all of
John
the
Tafone,
John
right?
Tafone, yes, of course.
Man
He's
is
done
a
a wonderful job.
genius.
Yeah.
I mean, he is single-handedly really allowing us to be able to do a lot of new material.
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't be able to do the kind of work that we're doing with guest artists, especially someone like Big Lux, who these are hip hop charts that are,
Right.
recorded in a studio, and to be able to take that and actually orchestrate it for a 55-piece symphony orchestra takes a very incredible skill set. But we are very lucky to have John allowing us to take these steps forward with new repertoire.
I'm excited for. Can I just mention songs if they're out there already?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. I'm excited for the arrangements of Love Song, Rolling in the Deep, Pink Pony Club. Like, this is some pops.
Mhm.
I
It
mean,
ain't
I'm
Chopin.
I'm personally really excited for Beautiful City, though, from
Yes.
Godspell. That's one of my favorite
Yes.
songs. And now I want to do Godspell again.
So
So
all
thank
those-
you for that.
Those 4 that you just mentioned, those are all part of the set we're doing with Mary Kate.
Wonderful.
And
I know
yeah.
she toured for 10 years and playing that Green Witch who flew around, except she told me she didn't fly on Broadway. She told me the tricks.
Mm.
But yeah, she said that she was really looking forward to that because she has been singing Defying Gravity for 10 years.
Mhm.
And then she told me how hard it is to get the green makeup off at night.
Well, we're not going to make her wear the green
No.
makeup for this one.
No.
But we do have 2 pieces from Wicked because, of course, we had to, having Mary Kate
Of
Morrissey
course.
come, having been Elphaba on Wicked. I don't think we actually said that out loud yet in the show. So she was Elphaba
Yes,
up
she
until
was.
very recently on Broadway in Wicked. And so she's going to do The Wizard and I and Defying Gravity. And so actually the very last song on her set, her primary set where the chorus is going to participate with her is Defying Gravity, and we get to yell, look at her, she's wicked, get her, and then scream, bring her down, essentially, which is a very strange way to send off a guest artist, but I think it will be effective and people will
she's
enjoy
gonna
it.
love that. She will absolutely. She has a wonderful sense of humor. And getting back to John Tafone, she said she spent some time in his West Village studio,
Yes.
and she said it was great working with him because I wanted to know his music, he wanted to know mine.
Yep.
And then it came down to what's going to work in Westerly, what do
Exactly.
the audiences expect.
Yep.
And John is a genius.
He is.
He
He's a
really
very
is.
collaborative musician.
And
Absolutely.
he is from here.
Yep, he
and
sure is.
He also was a chorus boy, right?
He was, yeah.
Little boy in the chorus.
Yep.
Last year, he was showing me, I had no idea. I would never have an idea like that. I said, you're rearranging music and you're doing new arrangements. Is that a lot of paper? And he looked at me and he laughed. And then he reached in and he said, and he held up this big stack. He said, this is a portion of the over 3,000
Yeah.
sheets of paper it took to do this concert.
Yeah, even more this year.
And unbelievable.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he just starts immediately working on next year again.
Well, see, the funny thing is that's not really true. While we do start planning, the actual creation of the music is usually just in the last few months before the concert. So almost all of that has been done over the last 3 or 4 months, all of the arranging and then creating the parts and all
Wow.
of that. Yeah.
That
So
is
even
a lot.
more incredible that it's not a year in advance. I'm sure he would love it if we were a year in advance. But that is not actually how this works. He just is very efficient as well as being brilliant.
And I have to give a shout out to our music librarian, Pam Young, who then in
course.
turn gets those 3,000 plus pages folded up into children's folders, organized, ready to go.
Yep. So that we can actually learn the music.
Yep.
And that's the great thing about the Chorus of Westerly, not just Summer Pops. Because Summer Pops is a lot of fun stuff. But for those 8-year-olds that start,
Mhm.
they're singing heavy duty classical music the rest of the year.
And
Absolutely.
at pops
And
too,
that's-
to a degree.
That is teaching them discipline that's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Going back to what Ben was saying before, in terms of the rest of the set. So we have the Elphaba Wicked music, but then we just kind of decided to have fun in the middle and go for whatever pop tunes she felt like she would be comfortable singing, and that we thought would resonate to an extent. So we've got some Adele, we've got some Chapel Rowan. What's the third one? I can't.
Sarah Bareilles.
And Sarah Bareilles.
Yeah.
So a smattering of pop and theater things
Mhm.
that people will really enjoy. And I think one of the special things about having a guest artist is it gives us an opportunity to do songs that as the Chorus of Westerly on its own, we wouldn't do. But being able to be the backup singers going doot, doot, ooh, ah, behind a soloist who's doing, something like a Pink Pony Club allows us to do completely different material that is a lot of fun, but not normally in our wheelhouse.
Yeah, I mean, if you think of what Andrew has said, just the last 10 or 15 minutes, we've gone from Mars dancers waving hankies, singing naughty songs, to a Suzuki trained violinist who's doing hip hop
Mhm.
and rapping, to Broadway, to, I would assume, because if not, you're going to disappoint some people, you must have the patriotic stuff, right?
Well, we have the 1812 Overture, which is faux patriotism, I think, but
Yes.
it's been co-opted for that. And then other classical things. We have the end of the Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. We've got a little bit of John Rutter, which is light classical.
And Ode to Joy.
Yeah, and we're doing Copeland Hoedown, which is another one that we've never done before.
Yeah.
So yeah, a very wide smattering of material. So if someone doesn't like one song, it'll be over in 3 or 4 minutes, and you'll get something
It'll be
entirely
completely
different after that.
Sounds like New England weather.
Yeah, exactly. But hopefully not on Saturday the
No.
21st.
Speaking of weather, that is a frightening, it's interesting to watch, but you're watching with your heart in your stomach. But they have this thing so well down. I mean, I've seen Doug over the years driving the golf cart and going back and forth. I've seen Ryan Saunders. He's got it down where, well, Doug, you can talk about a few years ago. I've heard you talk about the story where the storm was coming and the thundercloud turned around in Connecticut or something.
Well, that's true. Ryan and I were standing in the corner of the stage watching the weather radar, and this storm was barreling along from west to east until it got to Wickety-Quack, which is about 3 miles down the road to the west of us, when it suddenly turned south and went out over the Fisher's Island Sound and never bothered Westerly.
Which is
We
amazing.
thought somebody was really watching over us that year.
We sent a lot of people out to go
Yeah,
blow at the storm.
But your job is not easy, or the chorus or the orchestra, because if there's a drop of rain, the orchestra's out of there with their instruments.
Mhm.
And also if you hear there is something coming and you have to cut, gee, what do we cut and where?
Right. We've certainly
And-
gotten a lot of experience over the last few
Mhm.
years in that.
And I'm sorry for it, but
Yeah.
you do it beautifully.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've been able to make shows happen. I mean, we haven't
Yeah.
had to miss out entirely in any way, and we've been able to get the majority of the material in there and get the guest artists their moment. So yeah, we've sadly had to learn how to make adjustments on the fly, but Ryan is very good at that, and he has a down to the second schedule, so that if we know we have this amount of time to go, he can literally yell, "Play this piece," and then tell the fireworks to shoot them off because the concert's going to be over in 5 minutes when that thing gets past Wickety Quack or whatever.
Speaking of the fireworks, Doug, you want to say something about the Grucci's? Because you've got this concert has a very long relationship.
Well, this chorus, I think, has always been noted for doing things the right way and the best way. And when we first moved into the park was the first year we had fireworks, and we were bold enough to contact the Grucci company, which is world renowned, and asked them if they might like to come to Westerly and shoot off some fireworks, and they said sure. And they've been doing it ever since. Chorus of Westerly is the Grucci's company's longest continuous client that they have, and they know that, and they respect that, and they treat us very kindly in many different ways and put on magnificent demonstrations. They're just a great group of people.
Yeah.
I should
As I said earlier, this is quite a culture. I mean, right down to the newspaper the night before with the warnings on the front page. You may not put down your blankets till 5 o'clock, and that's the night before, or else the police take them away. If it rains, bring a warm, dry blanket the next night. That's the best thing. But people have their spots in the park. This family's been on this hill for 30 years and they'll die on this hill, but they're going to be on this hill. Isabel, you look like you were going to say something.
Oh, I should mention, because I know we've talked a couple of times about the first Pops. If you swing downtown, anytime leading up to Pops, right now there's a display in the front window at the United. They very kindly let us use their front window. And we have a Summer Pops display up there, but there are large blown up photos of the first Pops on the post office steps.
What color hair did Doug have?
They're black and white, so I couldn't say.
Well, it could be
And they're
black or it
aerial.
could be
They're
white.
aerial. But Emily Stoddard, who's one of our staff members, made this beautiful display and took a bunch of our archival photos and historic photos from different Pops throughout the years, and they're all up there. So
Are they all? Do they have dates under them?
Yep, she's labeled them all so you can tell what year it's from, and they're really, really cool.
That is fantastic. Well, you cannot live in this community and not come to this. And even people, I'm always amazed. It's like people who live in Manhattan and have never been to the Statue of Liberty or the Empire State Building. But it really is more than just a show. It is tradition at its best.
Yeah.
Have you begun to think of next year?
I have, but I'm not going to say anything about it. We've got to get through this one first.
You got 10 minutes. So
Yeah.
if there is anything we haven't touched upon that you'd like to talk about or give a shout out to, I know we need to give a commercial, Doug and I do, about food and drink, don't we?
Well, yeah, you want to do it or you don't want me to do it?
Well, why not?
Well,
do
way
it.
back in 1983, when this thing was going to become quite expensive, having been a member of the Rotary Club, which my father was one of the founders of, I, with a tongue-in-cheek, went to the Rotary Club and said, gee whiz, we're going to be doing this great concert in the park, and how would you like to vend food? And they, oh, we'd love to do that. And I said, yeah, but you got to give us all your money. And for 40 plus years, Rotary has been pretty much the sole vendor of food in the park, and they have contributed every penny that they make beyond expenses to the chorus in support of the concert.
Mhm.
And we're talking about many, many thousands of dollars over the years.
Yeah.
It's a great group, and they do a great job, and
Mhm.
and people appreciate it.
It used to be, I know when I first got in the club, there were 3 separate stations. And
That's
that
true.
became a headache and a half. So years ago, I don't know exactly when, it went down to one large one under the tent at center aisle. And it's
Well-
all hands on deck and bring your friends because we need a lot of people.
It wasn't really a headache. It was 3 different organizations for the first couple of years two of which decided they did not want to give away their money. So we invited them to get out of the way. And,
But I
politely
do
so did.
remember Rotary we had a booth at Grove. There was
Yeah.
one in Grove, one at the, what do they call the bandstand?
Charahoe did as well, and the bandstand
Right.
in the park.
And then the other big one. But yeah, I mean, we can get into enough trouble with one big one. But we sell everything from popcorn to pizza to pretzels to Dell's lemonade. That's a biggie, unless it's a very cold, rainy night. And coffee and sodas, and I'm sure I'm forgetting hot dogs and what else? What am I?
I think you
forgetting?
got most of
Pretty
it.
much. And people are very generous too. People will come by and give us large bills and say, keep the change. And that all goes to the chorus. And right next to us is a tent with chorus people, Chorus of Westerly people selling T-shirts. No more balloons. That's not
No more
allowed.
balloons.
But it is T-shirts, sweatshirts.
All kinds of other swag. Yeah.
Yeah.
Different chorus merch.
Okay.
Yeah.
By park regulations, you can't do things that generate money except for not-for-profit events. And so the library has been very cooperative and very helpful to us.
Yeah.
And we've absolutely a big shout out to the police department. They
Yes.
do a terrific job. They are there early on. They've got their dogs sweeping the area. It is, and they continue to do it for the entire concert.
Mhm.
It is probably the safest place you can be on Saturday night, June
Seriously.
21st.
Mhm.
And there is a rain date, isn't there? That nobody likes to talk about, but the rain date would be the very next night.
Yes.
Correct. The Sunday, June 22nd.
Years ago, there used to be even a third one, but fortunately, they don't do that anymore. The popcorn never held up. Neither did the performers.
Neither did the budget.
No.
Yeah, you're exactly right, because that's right. You have to pay that orchestra regardless, and performers.
Doug, would you like to talk at all about the bucket brigade and things like that, just to let people know
Oh,
now that
that's
we're on
right.
money?
Well, we attempt to raise additional money in the park by voluntary donations. We have a bunch of people with buckets wandering through the crowd, and people wave money at them, and they run over and collect it. And it just is a way that our audience has been able to say thank you. And
Didn't they also have little credit card machines or something they were wearing?
Yeah,
We
but
do
I'm
have-
too old to understand that, so don't ask me to talk about it. But
Well, that is
I know if you got a
about-
credit card, you
But I
can
know
spend money.
people could give a credit card and they could take it right there.
So we have QR codes now that link up in the park as well to our Venmo and to our website. And so if people don't happen to have cash on them,
You know, from Venmo and QR. And
I've heard
on
the
the phone.
term. That's all I know.
just giving people a lot of options. It actually, since the pandemic, it's more than doubled the production cost of Summer Pops. But I mean, the Westerly community has really stepped up. People are very generous always, and they really show the love for Pops, which we really appreciate. But yeah, if you see a lovely, friendly looking child with a yellow bucket in the park,
Yeah, they
that's
do
what they're
that
up
now.
to. Yep.
they send the kids out, the cute little
do,
kids.
yep.
So you can't say no, because otherwise the tears well up. and-
Not alone.
We
We send
train
them.
them on that.
yeah, they don't get ice cream.
No, we'll pair them up. We'll take one of our older kids or a parent and send them out in little teams, and they do a great job, and they have fun, and it gives them a little thing to do in between dinner and the concert. But yeah, that's the Bucket Brigade, and they're just doing that in park fundraising, but you'll also see those QR codes now too.
I'd also like to mention, because we've done it before on this show during the years, and I see nothing wrong with it, because I think people don't realize how expensive it is. I can remember when Doug was saying, yeah, it's going to run about 90,000. Then it was going to be about 100. Can you give us a guesstimate of what it's going to be this year, just so people know, gee, I'm getting a free concert and I'm bringing food from home, and I might buy some popcorn or a pizza from those Rotary folks, but I'd like them to also put a 20 in the bucket, or 100, or even $1.
Honestly, anything helps. I don't have the exact number.
Doug, you have some
Um,
idea?
I don't know.
It's well
It's
above
six figures.
well
A
above
lot.
6 figures at this point. Yeah, and it goes up exponentially every year.
Well, Grucci fireworks alone are a lot of money. I know that.
They actually have been very kind to us
They've-
over the years and have managed to stay at a relatively decent level. The sound costs of the sound equipment in particular have been very expensive. And as with everything, that field has just gone up since COVID by so much, but everything adds up. The security costs, all of those things are very expensive. The orchestra cost, that continues to go up. So when you put it all together, I think we're well over 120 at this
That would
point.
be my guess, would be somewhere around 120, 125.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we are absolutely
Well,
dedicated
you're
to
an
continuing to do
advancement
this.
associate. Go get it.
Yeah,
I'm trying.
and so that's a big part of it. I mean, we have the fundraising in the park, and we have the Rotary selling merch and food and all of that stuff. But a lot of it is fundraising. Our organization survives mostly on individual donors, some corporate donors, but it's a lot of people who just care about the organization and the fact that we've been here for more than 60 years and are doing what we do, and they want to continue to allow us to continue our mission. And so anyone who is interested in helping us with that can either stop by the Chorus Hall during regular business hours, can go to our website and make a donation, or find another way to get some money to us. And we are very grateful for any help that people can give.
Which is great. Yeah, I think that's great. I thank you all. Maestro Andrew Howell.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Isabel McCullough. As always, Dr. Doug Rayner. We're going to take a short break because I'm not sure that our 4:00 guest is here, but she has a way of coming about 10 seconds before, running down the street, usually with her big glasses. But we will be back with Carly Callahan, the executive director from the United Theater. And we thank you all. Do not leave us. You're listening to Man About Town. We're a production of 321 Media, coming to you from downtown Westerly. And hopefully you are going to take a short break yourselves and send some money to the chorus. We'll be back shortly.
Experience local excellence with Roof Right Roofing in Charlestown, Rhode Island. With over 40 years of unmatched expertise, Roof Right specializes in architectural shingles and holds the prestigious title of GAF Master Elite Installers. Known for their commitment to the community and support for local initiatives, Roof Right is your trusted partner for all of your home's roofing needs. Call today for a free estimate at 401-212-4140.
Hi, this is Dan from Lathrop Insurance. In this challenging insurance environment, Lathrop Insurance can be your beacon in the storm to help you find the coverage you need at the right price. Now, more than ever, you need a partner in the insurance industry that can work with multiple carriers to make sure you have the right coverage at the right price. Lathrop Insurance carries home, auto, and business insurance and can be reached at 401-596-2525. We've been supporting the local community since 1939, and we look forward to working with you.
What's going on, everybody? It's Patrick down here at the Wireless Zone at Dunn's Corners at 224 Post Road, and everybody down here is getting the brand new iPhone 16. We have it here in stock. The best part is right now, if you trade in your old phone, you get it for free. We got deals all weekend, awesome savings. Come on down and see us, 224 Post Road, Dunn's Corners, Verizon Wireless Zone. We'll see you soon.
D&V Mechanical specializes in the installation, maintenance, and servicing of Mitsubishi ductless mini-split heat pump systems. We are certified by Mitsubishi as Diamond Elite Contractors and factory trained and up to date on the proper procedure of the installation and service of Mitsubishi ductless heating and air conditioning ductless heat pumps. We assist with the paperwork to reduce much of the stress-related documentation required to get the state rebates and federal tax incentives. We are not a jack-of-all-trades, master-of-nothing company. We are masters of ductless heat pumps. It's what we do, and it's what we know.
Moving doesn't have to be stressful. Whether it's across town or just across the hall, no job is too big or too small for Easy Does It Moving and More. Sean and his team put people first, making your move safe, smooth, and stress-free from start to finish. For a move made simple, go with the name that says it all. Easy Does It Moving and More. Call us today at 401-545-6078 or go to easydoesitmoving.com.
At Dime Bank, we're all about community. It's who we are. Local communities made up of customers, families, and friends. Business owners invested in helping their communities thrive. Dedicated employees committed to giving back in ways that go beyond banking. If your banking relationship leaves you wanting more, come join our community. It's your bank, your choice, your dime.
Let's all go to the beach. I wanna go to the beach. Cold weather sucks, let's get some relief. I'm telling you it's well within our reach. Take me to the beach today.
Our next tip for rehab for our ACL is we want to make sure our squat mechanics are looking great. Now, with Ezra here, we are fighting a little bit of calf tightness. So one of the cueing you can give your client, or if you're having trouble with your squat at home, is we want to make sure we elevate the feet a little bit and take the calves out of the equation. That's going to make it easier for the knees to squat down and bend. But ultimately, we want to make sure those ankles have enough range of motion that it's not needed in the end. So Ezra, can you demonstrate a nice overhead squat for us, please? And you can see as he comes up, his chest is up, his rear end's down, heels are accommodated, and the knee's not buckling. One more for show, please. Excellent job. Fantastic.
Hi, I'm Chris Kozłowski, owner of Broadview Florist and Garden Center in Duns Corners. For over 40 years, our family-owned business has been your go-to destination for beautiful, custom-made floral arrangements. Whether it's a special event or just to brighten up your day, we create highest quality designs tailored just for you. Trust Broadview Florists to make every moment unforgettable. Visit us today or give us a call at 401-322-0390.
Are you looking for a fresh cut in Westerly? Step into Rio's Barber Shop in Granite Plaza. Whether it's a classic trim or a trendy new look, we've got you covered. Experience the perfect cut for every age and style in a friendly and relaxed atmosphere. At Rio's, it's not just a haircut, it's an experience. Visit Rio's Barber Shop in the Granite Plaza in Westerly or give us a call to schedule your appointment at 401-315-2208. Your style, our craft, Rio's Barber Shop.
Hi, I'm Neil Anthus, owner of Sound Financial Partners. We're a full-service financial planning practice dedicated to optimizing your investment, tax, and cash flow strategies. As fiduciaries, we always keep our advisory clients' best interests in mind when making recommendations. Whether you're preparing for retirement or growing your business, we're here to help you achieve your financial goals. Ready to start your journey to financial success? Visit us at our Westerly office or give us a call at 401-642-4333.
And we are back, and she's here. Yay. We are here with Carly Callahan. She is the executive director of the United Entertainment Center. And we were talking about that in the last portion. We were talking, of course, Pops. Mm-hmm. But I understand you've got a great display in your windows of the Pops from where they were on the post office steps, and I've never seen those pictures. I've got to get down there and see it all the way.
So, the United is the physical space of the United is the old vaudeville house that turned
Yep.
movie theater and is now our black box. So when you enter the United and go to our main front desk, you are in the old theater. And right next door to the theater was the Montgomery Ward department store. So when you're in our gallery and you're seeing our Time and Tide exhibition and you're in our main cinema and concessions, music school, that's all part of the old Montgomery Ward department store. And so department stores, of course, had department store windows. So we have 3 windows that are part of the old department store, one of which is in our gallery. We affectionately call it the fishbowl. It's where we have the little couch and a couple chairs and people hang out there beforehand. And then the second is our stage that we use for some of our gallery events, our literary salon, et cetera. What's neat about that stage is that we have the ability to project the acoustics from inside the gallery out to the street. So at the holidays, when it is the holiday lights parade and the stroll, what happens is our music school students play on that stage and look out to the street.
Oh,
and
that's
the people
great.
outside can hear the music, which is really neat. And then going further down the street, like you're heading towards the train station, we have one more small storefront window. And we always say that we're so lucky to have, store frontage
That's right.
on Canal Street. And a lot of our friends in the nonprofit world don't have that. And so we said, wait a minute, why would we just put more United stuff? Let's have this as a space where we can help amplify the work of other nonprofit organizations.
So can any nonprofit ask?
Yeah,
and reserve
absolutely.
it?
Yes. It's a very informal process, but just reach out to myself, Carly at United Theater with an RE.org, or Margaret at United Theater. Margaret, as so many of you know out there, is our beloved community director, and she can get you situated. But it's great. So the Chorus of Westerly right now has done a takeover of that neat storefront space, and it looks amazing. And I am so excited for Pops.
Oh, it's great. Well, that's right, because you've only been here 2 years, right?
This will be my
Will this be your third Pops?
Yes, this will be my third Pops. And I'll never forget the first one. When you move into a new community, you hear about these things, but in your imagination, sometimes they're much bigger than you would imagine. And sometimes they're not anything.
Exactly.
And so my family and I walked over and I was like, what is this? It was just, I was absolutely blown away by that event and all of the people and like the tapestry of blankets, that are just so beautiful to behold.
20,000 of
my
them.
Heavens.
Yep.
And the quality that the Chorus of Westerly brings to us is unbelievable. And then, of course, so we just kind of stumbled upon this and none of us, I have my husband and 2 kids, and none of us could believe what we were seeing and hearing. And then we were
You
just
have
kind
more
of
people sometimes in that park than you have a population of Westerly in the winter.
wild. It's wild.
It is.
And then, so the concert ended, and then we're walking home, and we walked by the beautiful Episcopal Church, and the church bells are playing, and the whole thing is just so fantastical.
Yep.
And so just like it satisfied for me this ache for feeling like, oh, I want to be part of a community that really feels like a real vibrant place. And
It's
and that
like
moment,
It's a Wonderful Life.
it really is.
It really is. It really is a wonderful small town.
It really, and then what was it? This weekend on Sunday, I was at the United for the 2 wonderful United Music School recitals, which are a whole joy to behold. And then I was out, the cafe had oysters on the half shell, and there were people out kind of doing an outdoor
I'm going to
thing
whine. I
there.
didn't know they had oysters on the hat.
Yeah, it was awesome.
They
And
don't have any left, do they?
they will. I think they're doing it every Sunday.
Are they really?
Yeah, which is pretty awesome.
Was it because of Sunday
Yes,
Fun Day?
yes.
Aha.
And so then Sunday Fun Day was going on, and there were mermaids. I think it was the mermaid weekend, and all the people dressed and just having a great time. And I walked through the park, and the Westerly Town Band was doing their concert and their teddy bear parade. And it was just another kind of moment, which I have on a fairly regular basis, of being like, this community is just extraordinary.
And you're from New York City.
Yeah.
And so it's like a complete culture shock, but
Right.
a happy one.
A happy one. And I was up at in Providence last night for the Pell Awards for our friends at Trinity Rep. And so I was talking to someone up there about Westerly in this area and Rhode Island generally. And I said, if you could heat map all the cool things that are going on, the concerts. And
Unfortunately, there are too many on the same day, and
True.
that's always going to happen.
And but what a
But I hate when you
succulent
have to
problem have.
choose.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And I always feel like I'm missing things all the time, and but how fortunate to say my biggest problem is that there are not enough hours in the day.
Exactly.
Versus what most people have, which I think is the opposite, which is, how do I occupy my time? How do I get to know my neighbors and my community? How do I learn? How do I grow? How do I, all these things.
Well,
And we
you're
have it
doing
in
a heck of a
abundance.
good job. So
Well, thank you. Well, we all are. I mean,
are you
it
going to
takes a
tell us
village.
today about Nashville North? Are you going to tell us what's doing down there?
Yeah.
at
I
the
want to talk,
United?
I want to make sure everyone out there.
It's your show, so
Oh,
wherever you want to
well,
go
listen,
with it.
it's your show, and
Seriously.
I'm just so privileged to be a guest on here. But we have a program that I think I've spoken a little bit about, but I want to dive a little deeper into it if you'd be willing
Can't
to let
be
me share.
soupy.
No soupy. No soupy. We did talk about soupy the other day, and it came up in planning for 26, and we all kind of collectively said we love soupy, but we still haven't. Our GI tracts haven't quite recovered sufficiently to have a productive conversation. So the program that I want to bring attention to is a program that we've had now. We will be doing it for the fourth time, the fourth season of it. It's called After School Arts. And it's a program that was born from what we were told and what we observed, which was that middle school kids.
That's when you bring them from the middle school over.
They
Okay.
don't have an opportunity for arts enrichment. And a few things going on with that. First, we were observing that kids generally are pressured now at a very young age to specialize, to say, I'm a painter, I'm an instrumentalist, I'm a dancer, I'm a whatever.
But that can change so quickly.
And so kids from, so they are not, back when I went to school, which was a million years ago, because I'm a million years old now. We kind of had forced exposure to all sorts of things, and not just in terms of the day-to-day of the classroom, but outside of the classroom too. It wasn't this kind of arms race that happens now, where kids and their parents have to be kind of goal seeking of, their kid is going to be the next great oboist so that they can get into college or get the scholarship or whatever. Art for art's sake, creation for creation's sake, with not a goal of being the best at, but just a goal at just having art be a catalyst for kids being able to understand themselves,
It's also a
understand
great
one another.
release.
Yeah, it is.
Whether you dance or paint or act
Right.
or sing, it's a
Right.
great release.
Right. So we started this program to essentially serve as a tasting menu for the arts, right? So when you go into a restaurant and you order a tasting menu, you don't really know what you're going to get.
Right.
But you just know that you're interested in the chef, or you're interested in that type of food, and you're served all sorts of things. And sometimes you're served something that is something that you may never have ordered on the menu, right? But you say, "Oh my goodness, I love, asparagus." Or whatever it is, that you haven't necessarily been exposed to. So After School Arts was designed to give our middle school students, our fifth graders, a tasting menu of the arts. And as the program has evolved, we have now had the After School Arts program be partnerships with kind of the best in class, essentially, of all of the various artistic modes of expression that we identify. So what that means is that our kids, and to say this very clearly, this is 100% free. We don't charge a penny for this program. And Westerly Middle School students, 5th graders, are bused from Westerly Middle School to the United because
How is this all underwritten?
we have
then?
some generous donors who heard about this program and said, I want to support it.
Only the 5th graders?
Yeah, we were doing before middle school broadly, but we have identified that 5th grade is kind of that age where they're young enough to still be.
They're about 10.
They need to be exposed to as much as possible because they're still malleable creatures, right? And the idea with after school arts is that we want to continue the relationship with these kids and provide more educational opportunities for pieces of after school arts that they were really excited about. So our grads or alums down the road will be able to say, I want to dig in deeper to songwriting or to whatever.
All right.
So the program is 100% free. The kids are bused to the United. There is a fall session and a spring session. Each session is 8 weeks long. The fall session begins on September 29th and runs through November 21st. And the spring session begins on March 2nd and runs through May 1st. Students can only participate in one session, and both sessions are the same. So you don't have to worry if your schedule is better in the fall or the spring.
Once a week, is it?
Every day of the week,
Every
5
day.
days a week.
Great. Do they have to make
Weekdays.
that commitment?
We like them to make the commitment of saying that they are going to be at most of the sessions. Now, there's dentist appointments and the
Kids get sick.
whatever. Yeah, things happen. But generally speaking, we only have capacity for 20 kids in each session right now. We're hoping to have that capacity grow and expand. But right now we have 20 kids.
How
we
are
can
they
fulfill.
picked?
So they submit to us a form, or their caregiver or guardian or parent submits a form about stating their interest in the program and why they're interested in the program. And the program looks like this. So music is Music Mondays, which is taught by our faculty from the United Music School. And the kids are learning instrument instruction led by some of our most fantastic faculty members. And they're learning the ukulele and all sorts of things, which is really great. Tuesday is visual arts, and it is taught by our wonderful artist in residence, John Tedeschi, who, as so
he
many know, is
incredible.
Teacher of the Year and just human being of the year too. And a darn good bocce player too, by the way. Not to get back to Soupy, but it always comes back to Soupy. But he is teaching sequential art, drawing, printing, and painting. And so these kids are getting wonderful teaching and mentorship from truly one of the best, John Tedeschi. Awesome. Wednesday is Words and Music Wednesday. Now, those that have listened to me before prattle on and on about Nashville North, Words and Music we are a program partner with the Country Music Hall of Fame and Taylor Swift Education Center under our Nashville North initiative. Words and Music is the coolest program ever. It's a program designed to teach people how to write a song, and more specifically, the lyrics of a song. So what happens is, and we were fortunate enough to bring some of our music educators from the United Music School down to Nashville to be taught this program. And I was lucky enough to be there, and I was also part of this training day, which was amazing. And so these kids come in and they have a journal and they free write for a period of time. Just thoughts about everything. Serious stuff, not so serious stuff.
No
whatever.
music playing, no
nothing.
Just lyric they're writing.
They're not even writing a song at this point. They're just writing their thoughts. If we were writing a song right now, what a beautiful day to stroll through the park. The sun was shining. At long last, the flowers were blooming. I saw the wonderful guy who plays the recorder sitting on the steps near the fountain, whatever. And the instructor then takes the kids through their free writing to be able to identify subjects and themes. So we might have a subject like water glistening on the pond, or finally a bloom, or at long last summer, whatever. And then the kids are taught about rhyme and verse and chorus and a hook and all the elements that make a song a song. So 8 weeks later, and this is an amazing, beautifully fleshed out curriculum with all sorts of teaching artists down from Nashville who have put this together. So it's really, really well thought out. And the after the subjects and themes and chorus and verse, and what happens in that eventuality is the students have the lyrics to their song. Then what happens is the song gets shipped down to Nashville, and singer-songwriters under the auspices of the Country Music Hall of Fame take those lyrics and they write the music to the song and put
it's
those
country
lyrics.
music, correct?
It's,
in most
I mean,
cases?
it's not, it sounds like a song, right? I mean, yes, it's, I would say it's Americana music.
Yeah.
It's not heavy metal. It's not opera. It's not musical theater. It's a song. And what is so cool about this is that when we were in Nashville, what happens is the kids come to the Country Music Hall of Fame and they sit in an auditorium and they hear their song performed. Now, we bring our kids into our main cinema, which is the blue underwater looking one that's right by concessions, the 76-seater. And we zoom in the singer-songwriters, and the kids sit there and the singer-songwriters perform the songs.
That has to be so exciting
It is
for them.
the coolest thing.
They got to be sitting there saying, I wrote that.
Unbelievable.
That's my song.
And because these singer-songwriters are so darn talented, the songs are, I mean, this isn't like, you and I are both performers, but if we were to write a song right now and then sing it, it would be just okay, I think. But these are like awesome songs. And the kids get a recording of their song. And it is, and so when we were down in Nashville,
wonder if they can use that on their resume down the
certainly
line.
they can.
You
Certainly
know,
they
I
can.
wrote a song and it was recorded in
Certainly,
Nashville.
Certainly. And so when we were down in Nashville, some of the kids, like one kid wrote a song about how his dog loves to play football. Cute. Another kid wrote a song about how a tree, the same tree, grows differently in Tennessee than it did in Georgia. So the kid obviously had moved recently. Wow. And so this is,
that's serious stuff.
Yeah. The way to see the kids hear a song that originally emanated from a very tiny place in their heart or their mind or their spirit come to life is the coolest thing ever. I'm telling you, no matter what kind of day you're having, you see this and you say, this is some good stuff. So this is part of, it's two things. This Words and Music is part of our after school arts program. So on Wednesdays, the kids have this curriculum. We are also doing this program this summer, just Words and Music, taught by the wonderful Maggie Welch, who was a student and now a teacher at the United Music School, who's at Berkeley in Boston.
Ooh.
She is doing, it hasn't been announced yet, but she's doing a concert in our gallery. She's an amazing musician, and she came down with us to Nashville to learn how to teach this program. So this program in the summer, if you're a parent or a kid out there and your child is in grades 6 through 11, we have a free, and I'll say it again, a free camp from July 8th to August 12th, which is 6 weeks of in-person classes at the United Music School, where you can learn, or your child can learn, this curriculum. So,
and again, it's an everyday thing.
And so this is super cool.
But now you've opened it up to older kids.
Yeah. So there's two ways to get words and music in your life. The first is for 6 to 11, it's to 6th graders to 11th graders through the summer program. You can learn more on the United Music School website or the United website. And that is free. Again, I say it free because it's like, it seems too good to be true. And usually things like that are the too good to be true are, but there's no catch here. This is just a really cool program. And, or if you have a rising 5th grader, so a current 4th grader who's going to be in 5th grade next year, and they are participants in the after school arts program, they will also get this curriculum taught to them. So that's Wednesdays.
We've only done 3 days of the week.
Thursday is film and photography. Tony Noon's our artistic director, teaches that. He also has some other great artists that are coming in for the fall and spring session. The kids, they shoot their films in the park. It's adorable. And you see there's a culmination, the after school arts, it's not a graduation, but it's a showcase where the parents can come in and see all the stuff. And we put the movie up on the big screen, and it's great. And then Friday is new for after school arts. We're partnering with the Yellow Farmhouse Education Center in Stonington, which is an amazing facility. And they did a 1-day kind of test of doing a culinary arts program as part of after school arts this past spring, and the kids loved it. And so now we are bringing culinary arts. So Friday will be a cooking class. We don't have a kitchen at the United, but we will be learning about food and where our food comes from and how to prepare it
and samples.
Yeah, and samples, and I'll be sampling everything. And so that is what the curriculum looks like. It's 8 weeks.
And the whole thing is free.
It's free. And the kids, so Westerly Middle School kids, the bus will take the kids to the United. If you are not a Westerly Middle School kid, you are welcome in this program. The transportation, however, getting them to us, them to the United by 3:00 is up to you. All the kids come, they have a snack.
How do the kids apply for the summer one?
So if you're interested, you would like to request, for the summer one? The summer one is just to go on the United Music School site.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a form on there and they can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the after school arts program is email Kimberly, KIMBERLY, Kimberly at unitedtheater.org, or come by the United and we have these.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're driving or you didn't get all of this, you can certainly just come by or go on your website.
Yeah. Yep. So it's really, 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 really neat. And Tony and I have gone to the fourth grades in Westerly at the three different schools to talk to the kids and give them these flyers to take home to their parents. We were at St. Michael's School as well, which was great. But I just want to make sure the community is aware that this is out there, and we're doing this for our community and the kids in our community. So thank you for letting me prattle on.
If you have any kind of poster you want to leave with Ben,
yes,
or you want to, do you come and do the morning show at all, or does Tony?
I haven't. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, here I am booking your show for you, but no, he does an excellent morning show. And you should, get a slot, not just come by, because there could be somebody talking about something else.
Yeah.
But that way you're getting a different portion of the audience, a different day part.
Right.
Because I think this is really excellent.
It's great. And I with the United, one of the questions that we ask ourselves is, what makes us different? Not that we have to be different, but what is it that we're doing? We're doing so much. It's like, what are the core, what are the tent poles of what we're doing? And one of them, and I think maybe it's the most important one, is that we are educating the kids in our community so that the United has people up on stage upstairs and in our audience long after I'm gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I believe that by doing programs like after school arts, having kids as part of the United Music School, these kids going to Youth on the Mic and the amazing programs that the United Music School does, this makes sure that, again, long after we're here, that there are people in the audience and up on that stage. We are, and simultaneously, we're doing the thing today in real time where we're doing the shows with the world-class artists and bringing people in our audience from all over the place. But when you talk about an organization, you have to talk about sustainability, and sustainability means a lot of things, including making sure that you're planting the seeds to be able to tend to and grow so that the work that we're doing today can continue on in the future. And so
you want to replace yourself and keep it growing.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. So it's a critical piece of work, and we're so proud to do it.
I wish there had been something like that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
For summer.
Yeah.
There was always summer camp, and
Right.
the camp would do a play, but not the same as this.
Right. No, this is
And you're
great.
exposing them to 5 different
Yep.
kinds of art.
Yep.
Which is
really
terrific.
cool. So that's my bless you.
Bless you.
That's my long missive on that piece of what's going on. And thanks everyone
Well,
for
I am
taking the
going
time
to
listen.
ask the sneezer over there. Do we need to take a break? Are we paying bills for a few minutes?
Sure, let's go to a quick one.
Okay, we will be right back with Man About Town and Carly Callahan.
I am Jim Howe. My practice is focused on representing people injured in car accidents, representing people injured in premises liability, represent people in all walks of life. I say all the time that I represent the underdog, and by the underdog I mean the person who is injured and is facing lawyers that are hired by insurance companies. If you unfortunately find yourself injured in an automobile collision or in any other circumstance where insurance may come into play, think of giving me a call.
Hi, I'm AJ Truck.
And I'm Jeff Swiderski with AnnieMac Home Mortgage's Momentum Group, your trusted partner in the home buying process.
At AnnieMac, we can strengthen your offer with our innovative program, Cash to Keys, giving you a competitive edge by allowing you to make a cash offer on your new home.
Together, we've helped over 1,000 families move into their dream homes, and we'd love to do the same for you.
Give us a call today at 401-486-0853 to get started.
Ever thought about leveling up your fitness game in a fun and meaningful way? Kiefer's Martial Arts on Granite Street has everything you're looking for. Kickboxing, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and of course, adult karate. It's not just about getting fit, it's about building your self-confidence, discipline, and that unstoppable feeling you get from all your hard work. Stop in to Kiefer's Martial Arts today to sign up.
Been a member of Westerly Fitness for almost 10 years now.
Love it. It gets me moving in the morning.
Well, I just recently retired, so anybody that's retiring, this is a great way to start your retirement.
I find it easier to do housework, laundry, food shopping, all those everyday things.
I've always done something, physically, but I couldn't find a niche in the last couple of years since COVID, and I found my niche.
There is something here for everyone. So come join us in the Moving Silver family here at Westerly Fitness. I promise you won't be disappointed.
Do you want to get your business in front of over 100,000 viewers every month? Advertise with 321 and enjoy the best value in local advertising while supporting free community live streams. Your message will be seen across live high school sports, morning shows, and local events, connecting you directly with engaged audiences, boosting your visibility, growing your brand, and helping us keep these broadcasts accessible to everyone for free. Partner with 321 today and watch your business thrive.
We're back with Carly Callahan, the executive director of the United. We were just getting to the good stuff, too. I've often said it's a better show when we're in commercial. what you got planned. I mean, that was a huge chunk
Yeah.
that you laid on us. And Carly was saying during the break, it's been difficult getting kids to sign up. I'm wondering if because of the way society is now, we're constantly told nothing's for free. Beware of this, beware of that. I got an email this morning from Capital One about 3 brand new scams that are out there.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering if people are afraid, but this is a free program.
It's a free program.
No
and
shoe
it's
drops
Not,
and-
yeah, no, and it's not one of these. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. This is, this is a free program, and so please, 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 if you want to learn more, don't hesitate to reach out to me or any of our team, and we would love to welcome.
Yeah, and
your kid.
Your kid will be exposed to 5 different
Yeah.
kinds of arts.
Yeah.
And it's got to be a lot of fun.
It is, and the arts. I think again, going back to the top of the conversation, in this world we live in, there seems to be pressure for everything to have like a goal or an ultimate outcome that is some sort of accomplishment. You win the trophy or you get picked for the play or whatever. Sometimes I think, especially with art for art's sake, right? I am a horrible visual artist. Horrible. I can sing professionally, right? But visual art, I am horrible. We had a workshop in the gallery a while ago, and it was landscape painting. And
I'm thinking of me.
yeah,
No.
and I mean, and I was by far, if you were to look at it and qualify, I guess, the various people's canvases, I was the worst by far. I had such a wonderful time doing it. I felt so
Free?
at peace, and I was so interested in mixing the oil paints and like making the colors, and I just really art doesn't have to have an end goal in mind, and the more we as human beings can pick up a paintbrush, can pick up a ukulele, can think about the thoughts that we all have every day, and think about what would that be if I were to make it into a song,
So when does Carly's exhibition go up?
Oh my gosh, can you imagine? Maybe you would go out of pity, but you'd be the only one. I think we'll hold on program.
Maybe if they had wine and cheese,
yeah,
I'd go.
yeah, I'd have to have a lot of good snacks. So anyway, I encourage everyone there to learn more. And speaking of free, it is now 4:39. If you're so inclined out there, join me in the Gallery of the United beginning at 5:00 for our Voices of Westerly series. We've talked about this a little bit. So this is, again, free, and it's in the gallery. And Tony Nunes, our artistic director, takes people up on stage. We record the conversations, and it's people who help, kind of similar to what you're doing here, make up kind of the tapestry and vibrancy of Westerly.
You hear
And
that, Ben? We're part of the tapestry.
You're part of the tapestry, guys.
No, I think, to be fair, I think she just meant interviewing. I think she was just saying that Tony, like you guys are doing here, interviews people. That's what she was saying.
No.
No, I want to be part of the tapestry.
No, you're part of the tapestry. And that is it's a free event. It's at 5:00. And tonight we have a wonderful member of our team. She's relatively new. She's our finance associate at the United, and her name is Katie Stevenson. And she is an apiarist.
Ah, bees.
Yes. Did I say that correctly?
Oh.
I know it's an apiary.
Yeah.
It must be apiarist.
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 Yeah.
And
She
so,
gets stung a lot.
Well, I don't.
Probably not if
So
she knows what she's doing.
Her stories of beekeeping. She's with the Stonewall Apiary. It's fascinating. We've learned about queen bees and how they transport the hives from down south to bring them up here. And it's really, and how the queens have to be protected in this cool little mini hive within the hive, and how they smell the other queens if there's another. It's like I could go on and on. Her stories were so cool and fascinating. We said, you have to be on Voices of Westerly. So that is happening tonight. And so there's always two. The second is Paige Luthi, who's a Mystic-based artist and co-creator of the Pedal Pusher, which is a watercolor vending machine project that is inspired by flowers, travel, and the charm of the New England coast. Now,
and it's a vending machine?
It's at the United right now.
Wow.
So if you come to our lobby, you got to come. I wish I could have a video clip because it's kind of hard to describe, but it looks like a vending machine for like if you were at the laundromat and buying laundry detergent or something. So you put 4 quarters into the machine and out spits a little print, a hand-done watercolor print that are limited editions, and they're all United themes. So we have boots for Nashville North.
Wow.
We have a marquee. We have pianos. We have popcorn. They've done all of these different designs, and some of them are just one of one, and some of them are like one of 50. And it's just $1, and it goes right back to the Pedal Pusher.
Can you choose what you want?
No, and that's the cool
so
thing.
You don't know what you're getting.
So our wonderful front of house team, we have such a great team, led by Amy Crisana and Marie Matano, and it's a great team. And the front of house team has become addicts of the Pedal Pusher. So they're spending all of the money they're making on the Pedal Pusher to get all of the United prints, and they're trading amongst one another.
So baseball cards.
Yes, and they're trying to
Wow.
get the one of one, and these prints are adorable. Where else can you get original art for $1?
You can't.
You can't. So this is
So what does she do? Does she rent these machines out like for weddings and party, like
She-
they do with the picture,
Yeah,
and go
I-
in the picture booth?
I'll know more in a few minutes when I hear her chat. I think that she puts them. I know before us, she was at Wendy's, and I
Right.
believe she was at the Stonington Library at one point. I think they, as artists, create these prints that are themed with wherever this Pedal Pusher machine is. And
So that's why you've got popcorn and
yeah.
and
Ours are
marquees.
United specific.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so if you're a member of the 1926 Club, Rona,
Yes.
you just go to the front desk and say, I'm a member, and we'll give you the 4 quarters and you get your print.
I was going to say, and I can go do my laundry.
Yeah. I suppose you could use it for that too. But the print,
Unfortunately, I've got chamber business after hours at 5 o'clock.
No, this is happening. The Pedal Pusher is at the United for a few months.
So it won't just be there tonight.
No.
Okay,
No,
great. Because
this
I
is-
do
Yeah,
want to
it's
see
so
it.
cute. You're gonna love it. It's absolutely adorable. I love it, and I just love that everybody else loves it, and I think it's just so very fun and funny. So that's great. And then what else do we have coming up? We have our United for Pride, our drag show on Saturday, June 14th at 8 p.m. We're doing a 90s themed remix, which is going to be a lot of fun. That is an 18 and over show, but a lot of fun, and people have a darn good time. I'm actually doing a talk. I usually don't, get up on stage at the United, but I happened to meet last summer through an event that I emceed for the South County Women's Club for their book talk, where they have their author talk at the Dunes Club.
Yeah, I remember when you went to that.
Yeah. So I met the wonderful Dawn Tripp, who wrote a book called Jackie, and it is about the life of Jacqueline Kennedy, and, historical fiction. And it's an absolutely stunning book. And Dawn Tripp is a tremendously talented author and a fascinating human being. And when I emceed this event and met her, I was at the table with her for this lunch that happened afterwards. And we were just talking about, how the book is about more than just Jackie, right? It's about, how women have how we make our way in the world, how we use strategic tools to be able to integrate as needed, how we can kind of shapeshift as needed, how historical narrative can often recast the role of women in a more diminutive way than what they actually their actual role was. So the title of the talk that we're giving is Narratives of Strength, Rediscovering Jackie Kennedy and Owning Our Stories. So Dawn and I are going to be in conversation about our own experiences.
And this is when?
This is, hold on, it's coming right up. It's June 22nd, which is a Sunday at 4:00 p.m. So we're going to be just talking about our individual journeys, how Jackie's life is reflective or emblematic of some of the challenges that we all face and everything else. So that'll be a lot of fun. The next night on June 25th, we have Langhorne Slim coming up, the acclaimed American singer, songwriter, and performer. He's got many people know Langhorne Slim, and he's awesome. So that's going to be a lot of fun. That's a floor standing show seated in the balcony. And Glenn Thomas. He's coming up on July 6th. Westerly native Glenn Thomas. He's a Nashville guy, and now, but still a Westerly guy as well. So he
literally one of my favorite songwriters of all time.
Yeah,
and a good friend. But
he's awesome.
Yeah,
he's awesome, and that's part of our Nashville North initiative. Heads up, Bluebird tickets are going to be going on sale probably the next time I come in. We have to get the name of the artist, but that's in November when
Now
Bluebird.
You said Heads Up. What?
Heads Up Bluebird tickets.
Oh, Bluebird. Okay.
The Nashville North. A lot of people say, when are those going on sale? Soon. We're just waiting to finalize.
I know that when you got working on this project, you were working with Taylor Swift's father.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the education center in Nashville that she?
It's part of the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Oh, so yeah. I see.
Yep. And so it's
so it's like a wing of it that
yes,
underwrites.
Yes, and it has programs like Words and Music and
because
other
her start
programs.
was country music.
Yeah,
I know that.
Yeah, at the Bluebird.
Right.
So that's so that is and Glenn's concert on July 6th is under the umbrella of Nashville North, which is really neat. Undercover Cameo, which is a Westerly based folk music group. It is they're just fantastic. And they are going to Lucas Neal, Olivia Charlotte, Sandy Allen, and Elizabeth Beisel are the creative force behind it. And Olivia, or Liv, as we call her, is also a front of house team member, and she's an awesome artist.
Elizabeth Beisel's the Olympic swimmer from North Kingstown.
Oh,
yes, she is.
She is.
Yes, she is. And
she
now
won
she
a
is...
silver medal and a bronze.
Oh,
yep.
Tell me more.
She is a dynamo.
Yeah, she's a very famous Olympian from North Kingstown.
She's been on this. She's been on Man About Town way back.
Yep.
In the other place.
And she, is also an incredible fiddle player. And
I didn't know that.
And is now a part of Undercover Cameo.
How
and
cool
she
is
wrote
that?
a book.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, she wrote a book too.
Oh, see, I'm learning. All right, well, that's a must go for everyone out there. That's July 10th at 7:30. So mark your calendars. You going to be there?
July 10th at 7:30.
Yeah. Jaws at 50. We have Jaws is re-releasing the summer 50th anniversary celebration. The first, we have a few Jaws things going on this summer. The first is a wonderful opportunity to have a conversation with Wendy Benchley on the legacy of the iconic film and her work as a global voice for protecting sharks. This is, and guests of the talk are invited to stay for a free screening of the National Geographic documentary Jaws at 50. Following the talk. So that is going to be July 12th at 7:30. That's in partnership with our dear friends at the Mystic Aquarium, which is going to be a great event. Bruce Harris is coming back on July 18th.
I know that name.
He's Jazz at Lincoln Center. He has come to the United way before me. He's an incredible musician. So he's this is presented by the Sartori Morales Group at Morgan Stanley. We're so grateful for their sponsorship of this. Bruce Harris is returning.
What is his instrument?
Trumpet. And he's celebrating the music legacy and 100th anniversary of Louis Armstrong's Hot Five, which remains some of the most influential, timeless, and joyous music of the 20th century and beyond.
Oh, he'll be backed up then.
Yeah. So
probably.
Armstrong is known, for like What a Wonderful World and Hello
Sure.
Dolly and everything else. So this is going to be an amazing, amazing concert. So that is Friday, July 18th at 8:00 in our black box. Those tickets are on sale right now. I could go on and on. It's a really busy summer, honestly.
Tony's been busy.
He sure has.
He
Sure
does all
has.
the booking, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
And more to come. We still have announcements. In fact, Lee, who's our brand and content manager, is, as we speak, putting the finishing touches on our July and August calendar. So look out for that. A huge thanks to our volunteers, by the way, who post those calendars around town and in other communities. If you're interested in helping us out in that regard, please let us know, because we have these wonderful calendars, and this is just for our summer music series.
I wanted to just hold it up.
Yeah.
The camera. So we're.
Yeah. So
did I do it right in the right place?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So we really we need to get the word out, and so we have a wonderful team of volunteers that are helping us do that.
I was cat sitting about a month ago. You can see.
Oh no.
Anyway, I was cat sitting about a month ago, and I noticed on the refrigerator in the home where the cat lives,
Yep.
They had your calendar.
Good.
And I've cat sat 3 times there, and they always are up to date, and they have certain things circled.
Oh, good.
And I also was, before I came here, I don't know if it's somebody who works for you or an avid fan, but I was at Walmart, and in the parking lot, there was a white SUV, and the 1926 sticker
Yep.
and logo was on where you put the gas in.
Yep.
And then on the back, there was a bumper sticker for the United. So I don't know if that's one of your people or one of your people.
Well, 1926 Club members, as you know, get the
Yes.
magnet for their car.
Right.
For the 1926 Club. So if you see 1926 Club around
that
town.
was that was on the gas
Yep,
thing where,
yep,
where you open the
yep.
little door.
But
to put
having
the
a
gas.
sticker in addition to that makes you a super member, I guess.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I thought it might have been an employee.
Yeah,
Who
no, I
knows?
don't know who has the double, and that car doesn't ring a bell. So whoever that is out there, thanks for
Okay.
the support.
You have about 5 minutes. What else would you like to hit?
Well, I would say that on that note, for those that aren't aware, we have a wonderful membership program, the 1926 Club. And that is a wonderful way to support the United, which is a nonprofit. And we depend on the support of the community. And also to kind of enhance every experience at the United with things like meet and greets, private entry for some of our live events. Most of our live events, Margaret does an amazing job at welcoming folks in, so they kind of get private check-in and everything else. We have field trips. We had a wonderful field trip. Alan in the park took our members
Alan
on
Peck.
it was amazing, on a walk through the park, and we learned so very much. And then we did the bricks and murals walk as a group
Right.
the other day. We've got a lot of cool stuff planned for the summer. As I said, our members come in and get things like free popcorn sometimes, and the prints from the pedal pusher, and all sorts of ways to just bring people into community together. And I think the coolest thing about the membership program is that the members get to know one another, and it's kind of a community within the community. So the membership levels
And
start.
tomorrow the weather's going to be hot, and they can drive around the back
Yep.
parking lot up to Margaret's window
Yeah,
and get a popsicle.
Get a popsicle. So we have a popsicle pop-up for our members. And you say, what is a popsicle pop-up? Well, that is an opportunity for Margaret and I and Tim Cotter, our press and media manager, share an office. And we are, for those of you that are familiar, right near the UMS sign, next to the Nanas,
Right.
next to Nanas in the parking lot. And so Margaret is at the window. And if you just go up to her window and gently knock on the window, Margaret will open the window and provide you with a popsicle of your choice.
Now, will she be like the Good Humor Man? Will she play?
I know. I said to her, we need to get a
and ring the
loop.
bell like when you're in the neighborhood.
Yeah. So we're just really looking for ways to,
It's just
build
fun.
community. It's fun.
It is.
It's fun. Popsicle pop-ups and little prints and everything else. It's really fun. So we appreciate the support of the community. Memberships start at $50 and go to $150, $500, $1,000, and $5,000. There's various levels of membership, and all of it is on our website, United Theater with an RE.org.
Thank you, Carly.
Thank you.
Always so great to have you.
My
and
pleasure.
I hope people out there will at least investigate this program for the kids, for fifth graders during the year.
Yep.
Or for ages 11 to 11th grade.
Yeah, 11th grade. What is that, 17?
So sixth grade to 11th grade for the summer.
Yep.
For which there is no cost.
Right.
You get the kids out of your hair.
Right.
And they have a really good time.
And it's not for nothing, but it's even if the child is not looking to become the next Taylor Swift, that's not what this is about. This is about expression and creativity and being able to craft words
and they might
tell your
find
story.
out,
and they might say, wait, I love this.
Like you, they might find out, oh, I like playing with paint. I thought I hated it.
And by the way, one of our United Music School students is headed down to Nashville. We are sponsoring her for the songwriting advanced camp that is at the Country Music Hall of Fame. So we have ways to continue the journey for these kids if they are beyond,
That is very
this
awesome.
intro level. But this is like in the school of, intro to like 101. This is songwriting 101, and we have opportunities even beyond that. So please look into it, and we'd love to welcome you.
Great. And next week, Man About Town will be on the road again. Ben and I, and maybe DJ Gadget, will be at the Westerly branch of the Navigant Credit Union. We will have the movie guy with us, as we always do, Bill Doherty. He'll be giving out free movie tickets. There will be great food. Anybody can walk in. You do not have to be a member of the credit union. We did have, back in the winter, we had a man and a woman come in, and they were taking advantage of all the food that Gina Broccato,
Gina always puts out a lovely spread.
She does.
It's
Absolutely. She puts
fantastic.
Yes, especially if they rave about her meatballs. Anyway, she puts out all kinds of food, and this man and woman came in, and during one of the commercial breaks, we asked, "Oh, did you hear the ad? Did you hear the ad? Did you, are you members?" And the woman said, "Well, we were listening to the radio and it said we could come by, and we haven't had lunch yet." And they had nothing. So and Gina said, "That's fine. That's why we're here." So yes, we will be there regular time, Man About Town, from 3 to 5 o'clock. They are right on Franklin Street. So please come in. You will learn something, definitely. The people they have that work at the credit union are so good and so helpful. They can tell you how you can buy a home, even in this climate that we have for real estate. They have a wonderful Embark program that they're kicking into high gear for the summer. That's for young people all the way up to age 22. It's a savings program with interest and money on their birthday. So we will see you next week. Be safe, be well, take a risk. I say that every week. Please take a risk. You will never find out how much fun you can have or surprises you can get if you don't try something new. Just please do not try it on the highway. Ben Barber, thank you for filling in. Carly, thank you
Ben.
for being here.
Thank you, Rona.
We'll see you all next week.
All right.